Hello candidates, I am going to dictate you a passage from Progressive magazine. So please get ready for the dictation. The dictation will start after 15 seconds. Mr. Speaker, sir, you have been pleased to say many generous things about the members of this House and to my great embarrassment about me. I should like to offer you my grateful thanks, and I am sure I speak on behalf of the House also when I offer you their thanks for your kind words. It is befitting that on this occasion, when this Parliament stands at the edge of its own dissolution, there should be some valedictory references to our past. Since you have been good enough to make a reference to the work of this Parliament, I am taking the liberty of also saying a few words. We have gone through during these 5 years a tremendous amount of work, and as you have said, the speeches have covered I do not know how many millions of pages. Questions have also been asked, and altogether a vast quantity of paper has been consumed. Yet the historian of the future will probably not pay too much attention to the number of speeches or the hours which the speeches have taken or to the number of questions, but rather to the deeper things that go towards the making of a nation. Here we have sat in this Parliament, the sovereign authority of India, responsible for the country's governance. Surely there can be no higher responsibility or greater privilege than to be a member of this sovereign body, which is responsible for the fate of the vast number of human beings who live in this country. All of us, if not always, at any rate from time to time, must have felt this high sense of responsibility and destiny to which we had been called. Whether we were worthy of it or not is another matter. During these 5 years, we have not only functioned on the edge of history but sometimes plunged into the processes of making history. We have lived here, as indeed people have lived all over the world, at a moment of greater change and transition, of fast upsets and revolutionary processes. Not only have we been part of that world drama, but we have had our own drama also. It would be interesting for someone to take a rather distant view of the drama of these 5 years and more, not being lost in the innumerable confusing details, but seeing this broad current of history. We choose this system of parliamentary democracy deliberately. We choose it not only because, to some extent, we had always, though on those lines previously, but because we thought it was in keeping with our own old traditions, not the old traditions as they were, but adjusted to the new conditions and new surroundings. We choose it also. Let us give credit where credit is due because we approved of its functioning in other countries, more especially the United Kingdom. So this parliament and the Lok Sabha became to some extent like the British Parliament and the British House of Commons in regard to our rules of procedure and methods of work. Parliamentary democracy demands many virtues. It demands, of course, ability. It demands a certain devotion to work, but it demands also a large measure of cooperation, of self-discipline, of restraint. It is obvious that a house like this cannot perform any functions without a spirit of cooperation, without a large measure of restraint and self-discipline in each group. Parliamentary democracy is not something which can be created in a country by some magic wand. We know very well that there are not many countries in the world where it functions successfully. I think it may be said without any partiality that it has functioned with a very large measure of success in this country. Why? No, so much because we, the members of this house, are exemplars of wisdom, but I think because of the background in our country and because our people have the spirit of democracy in them. We have to remember what parliamentary democracy means more so in this time of change and ferment than in ordinary times. Even when the old order is good, it has to yield place to a new one, lest one good custom should corrupt the world. Change there must be. Change there has to be, particularly in a country like India, which was more or less changeless for a long time. Changeless not only because the dynamic aspect of the country was limited, restricted, and confined by foreign domination, but also because we had fallen into ruts of our own making in our minds, in our social framework, and the rest. So we had to take our souls out both from the ruts and from the disabilities and restrictions caused by alien rule. We had to make rapid changes in order to catch up. But while change is necessary, there is another quality that is also necessary, a measure of continuity. There has always been a balancing of change and continuity in our democratic way of life.